Tozawa Misumi aka Mito is one of the 2 new playable characters arriving with the 4th paid DLC of Art Online Fractured Daydream, the Symphony of a Dazzling Dawn DLC. Well, she has been canonized with a brand new backstory in Unital Ring, taking over an obscure tailor in Aincrad under the label Ashley, who never took part in the front lines. Her appearance here, with Galaxia's involvement, seems to be her incarnation from the progressive movies instead. So, before we experience the Symphony of a Dazzling Dawn, let's return to the Aria of a Starless Night for Mito's story. Tozawa Misumi was initially created as an anime original character, as the progressive movies needed a partner for Asuna early on before she was rescued by Kirito in the Floor 1 labyrinth. Having a friendly rivalry with Asuna at school, Misumi invited Asuna to play Sword Online with her. It was a game she participated in the beta of and was beaten at the last second by the infamous beta tester named Kirito in reaching the Floor 10 boss room. Asuna was already stressed out at school due to her mother relentlessly pushing her to do better and was intrigued by SAO and the nerve gear thanks to her brother's fascination with the technology as part of their family business, Rect. However, Misumi's invitation would remain as a pain in her heart when, after spending a couple hours in the game as Mito with Asuna, they were met by Kayaba Akiko's announcement of the death game, where the only escape was on top of the 100 floors inside the Ruby Palace. Mito quickly pulled Asuna away from the teleport gate plaza and moved onwards before the fields were overrun by confused players and taught Asuna the basics of SAO. The duo had good chemistry together and survived comfortably for a couple of days until they faced the little Nepenthes in the forest of Orunka. Mito was distracted by a sprite human that she wanted to hunt for loot suitable for Asuna. The rodent led her to a trap where she plummeted down a cliff, leaving Asuna behind with a horde of little Nepenthes to deal with. Not being able to rush back to her and watching her health bar plummet into red, Mito could not bear watching it disappear, so she disbanded the party and ran away, choosing to live in the pain of her denial rather than facing it. The next few days were painful. She met a young songstress named Yuna, wanting to give her some hope and strength in Sword Online memorable song that allowed Mito to steal her resolve and at least be part of the frontline in an attempt to clear the game so that nobody else would have to lose their lives. But the real shock during the Floor 1 boss raid for Mito was not the death of the raid leader Diavel. When he shattered into polygons, Mito was the one who rushed forward to defend the paralyzed members, but when she lost her balance, she was the one who got saved. Alongside Asuna, she joined Kirito on a final assault against Ilfang the Cobalt Lord and cleared Floor 1. She thought it would inspire others and rally a wave of progression, but a screeching voice put an end to it all, blaming all beta testers for Diavel's death among the other 1,000 people who succumbed to the SAO during the first month. She was relieved that Kirito took up the blame and focused the hate on himself, but it was also clear to her that she did not want to be in the front lines ever again. She looked for ways to help players in other ways. Throughout the month of December, she met with Yuna as well as another player named Ashley, who was a tailor in Sword Online Curable Pain, and learned about the artisan profession. She could make accessories with bonus effects to keep players safe. She gave one such necklace to Asuna when Asuna came to ask for her help to tackle the Floor 5 boss Fuscus the Vacant Colossus to prevent a disaster between the two guilds, but Mito had to turn her down. She feared the front line, she feared making the decisions that would put Asuna in danger. Unfortunately for Mito, Asuna was not the only person who came to have a chat that day, and that person did enough to sway her mind. She could not let Asuna down. On the day of the raid, she rushed to the boss room and managed to get in just in time to save Asuna from Fuscus's giant mouth. Using her variable sight to boost her mobility and reach, she was able to take a load off of Argo's shoulders to track and hit the sigils and stunning the boss. Having contributed to the clearing of Floor 5, she also handed off the unique boss drop she received, the Flag of Valor aka the Guild Flag, to Kirito for safekeeping from both ALS and DKB, and moved away from the front lines for good. However, that was all in the spin-off canon of the Sword Online progressive movies. Kirito and Asuna in Fractured Daydream are the main canon versions of the light novels, and thus know Mito as Ashley the Tailor, the person who created Kirito's Black Worm coat among other fan favorite outfits. Kirito himself does not even know the account name Mito and only knows Misumi with the brand label she carried forward of the original Ashley who perished earlier in SAO, as Mito herself never participated in the front line in the light novels. Whether Fractured Daydream authors will show their mastery of different canons or not remains to be seen, but with Sachi, they have shown they are willing to step up where it matters. Let's hope they'll do it once more. When it comes to our playable character though, Mito is a fighter class character but has some mobility options that'll intrigue you agile rogue players as well. She can spin her scythe to create a tornado to trap enemies and damage them, she can cast a wave that debuffs enemy defense on hit, and lastly, a flurry of rapid scythe slashes for targeted DPS. Her unique ability is indeed quite the unique one, as she can use the chains of her variable scythe to swing around or dash towards enemies when active. Her ultimate ability is also a pure DPS move with a string of attacks capped off by a white shockwave that deals huge damage. Will you help Mito come to terms with the past and have her back against Fuscus the Awakened Colossus? Enjoy playing as Mito when the Symphony of a Dazzling Dawn DLC arrives on July 24th in Art Online Fractured Daydream, and stay cool.